Hello, this tutorial will show how to do an accurate measurement using the mouse in an application that is using the AccuTrans 3D DLL. To do accurate measurements, the camera has to be rotated, zoomed, and panned. The mouse is used in the view window and the keyboard for other controls. We can set the camera viewpoint, which is the spot on the model where the camera is looking. We can change the field of view of the camera, which is effectively a zoom. We can rotate the camera with a slow speed and a fast speed. We can pan the camera, and we can zoom the camera with 6 speeds, which determine how fast the camera can be moved towards and away from the model. Now, this model is showing us a town in the Middle East where two twin brothers are visiting. We find one brother standing on a roof and another brother out on the road. Now, first I'll zoom in using the mouse wheel so we can see the brothers better. Okay. Now, to do a measurement, we click on the measure button, then place the mouse button on the one brother, and while holding down the left mouse button, we draw out a rubber band until we get to the second brother, and then I let the button go. This shows us the vertex on the one end of the rubber band line, and this is the vertex on the other end, and this is the distance between the two vertices. Now, let's do a more accurate measurement to a certain place on each one of the brothers. So I'll start with the brother here, and to be able to rotate the camera I have to do the pause button so our rubber band line will be locked in place. And so I'll rotate around. Oh, come back. I should first click on the brother. This is setting the camera viewpoint on the brother, and now I'll rotate, so I'm rotating around that center point. Then with the mouse wheel, zoom in, get closer to the brother, come down, do some centering, get up. Okay, here we can see his eye. We can zoom in, and now we'll do a measurement. Now, we'll do a continue, which means that the first vertex will remain locked in place, and we'll just be changing the position of the second vertex. And now I'll take and click on the lens of his eye, and there we have the second vertex set on the lens of his eye. Now I'll go back to pause and zoom out, zoom around till we see the other brother. Middle mouse button, click on the brother, bring him in, and we can see the button still. We can see that our vertex is on the brother, and it's pink in color, which means it's the first vertex. Now, I can only keep the first vertex fixed in place. So what I have to do is swap ends, so this becomes the second vertex, and now I can move it up and place it on his eye. So we'll zoom in, bring his eye around, go back to continue, click, put it on his eye, and now we have an eye-to-eye measurement between the two brothers, and zoom out, and okay, we can see our lines going eye to eye on the two brothers. Now, I can also, now let's go back in, and another way of doing this, I'll zoom back in on the brother. We'll get him up, and this time we'll look at we'll use his left eye, and I'll go back to measure because we're starting a new line, and I'm going to put the first point on his on the lens of his eye, and then I could draw the line out any distance and then let it go, or I could just click the button, and now I've got the first vertex and the second vertex on top of one another. You can see here by the screen positions, they're one on top of the other. Now go back to pause, zoom out, and middle mouse button, click on the brother, come in, rotate around, pick his left eye, and then go back to continue and just click, and now we have an eye-to-eye measurement, this time on the left eye. Now, while I'm in this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record this viewpoint position on his eye, and I'm going to do click the get button here for the viewpoint. Our numbers changed, which has now got this position. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to pause. I'm going to zoom out, and here we are. Okay, so now let's say I wanted to go take another measurement some other place on this model. So I'll go back to measure, okay, and I'll click on the roof top. It'll take a while sorting through the there you go. It had to sort through lots of vertices before it found that one, and now I'll come out and I'll go to the top of the minaret, and we'll take the distance there, and I'll let the mouse button go, and now we can see that's the distance between that rooftop and the minaret. Now let's return to our first brother and set it on his eye. So what I'm going to do now is set the camera viewpoint. Well, I'm going to go back to pause first, and then click set, and if I zoom in, lost him again. Well, let's try this again. Set. Yep, there it took. Some things get lost when you're capturing a recording, and so now I'm centered on the brother's eye, and if I zoom back in, we're right back where we were. So that's one. If you have known positions on the mesh that you want to get to, you can get there quickly by just setting the camera viewpoint on it and then rotating and zooming in so that you can see on the model. And then if we wanted to go back and take now, so then if I wanted to start another measurement, I could measure here, do click there, and that's got that position. Go back to pause, bring this around, zoom out, and here we have a doorway over here. Okay, I can go in and we can see what you can see through the doorway, and I'll go back to continue, and I'll click in here, and there's sometimes I had to move the mouse a bit so that the screen got redrawn, and so now we can see that there's an obstruction. He actually can't see with his left eye into that doorway. He's going through the building. So let's go back to pause, and we come out, and okay, we've got his line of sight. And if I do a check for obstruction, nothing's showing up on here because we probably hit something closer to him. So we'll zoom in, and it looks like we hit the brim of his hat. Okay, there we hit the brim of his hat, and so we've got just a short distance, which is just about 1/10 of a unit away. So what I'll do is I'll go in here and I'll set a skip distance of we'll say 2 units, set the parameters, do a check for obstruction again, and he's now seen past his hat brim. And if we go back up here and zoom in, you can see that okay, that we've got the obstruction going in on the wall. So anyway, that's how you can do accurate measurements using the mouse. That's it for this tutorial. Goodbye.